While every now and again on my Instagram story at The Geek Apprentice, I'll do little AMAs where I answer questions really quick with like a little video or a picture, it has been almost a year since I've done my last legit video edited AMA, and this time around I got around 100 questions, so let's get to it. Hey y'all, I'm the Geek Apprentice, and yes, I asked you all on Instagram, on my community tab, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Discord, my patrons, who of course have priority, posted like maybe 1 or 2 weeks ago saying, ask me anything, I'm making an AMA video, so here we are. Let's get to the questions. Just as a reminder, you will have about a day following this video coming out to still enter the giveaway, which I will link the video right here and in the description. Follow the instructions for that eShop Nintendo gift card giveaway, USA only. Yeah, if you still want to enter, because I'll be checking 2 days before to put entries in. Okay, now we're getting to the questions. Beginning with my beautiful Patreon supporters, what are your favorite colors? Emphasis on plural, which I'm very happy about because there are many. My favorite tends to be like a dusty antique rose, kind of similar to the light but also soft shades of pink in this shirt, but I also like a dusty blue like this. As far as what I wear, I prefer pastels because they tend to look the best on me, or navy blue, like dark blues tend to look good on me, but in general, dusty antique rose. Do you wish you lived in any other generation? Yes and no. While I definitely love the music of like Frank Sinatra's era, I love the outfits, I love how polite everyone was, and just how classy everyone was, there were also a lot of other things going on at the time that I do not wish to endure or live through. I mean, every generation has its issues. I don't feel like I identify with my generation that well. They all seem like a bunch of crybabies, I'm not gonna lie. So, I don't know. I don't think I fit in any generation, but technology-wise and certain social advancement-wise, I am glad I live in this generation. And I can still dress 40s, 50s if I want and listen to the music, so that's a perk. If you could meet any fictional character, who would it be? How to Train Your Dragon is going to come up a lot, but I feel like I'd want to meet Astrid, maybe a little more than Hiccup, even though I relate to Hiccup more. But also Remus Lupin. If you could live in any fictional world, which world would you live in? Well, not Panem, even post-war, the end of Mockingjay, no. As much as Hyrule seems really cool, I have no interest in dealing with Ganondorf, or any other manifestation of Demise's hatred. Thank you very much. I'd probably go with the Wizarding World, just because, you know, it has kind of the same issues that our world does now, except magic. Cool. So I'll go with that. Where would you live if you could go anywhere? This is really difficult. The reason being is because while I want to visit many places, there aren't many places I'd be willing to live. Like, for one thing, even though I would love to visit New Zealand, I'd love to visit pretty much all of Europe, and I have visited South America, I would never want to live anywhere but the US. I love my home country, and I don't want to live anywhere else. So, keeping it within the US, that's also tricky because while there are a ton of beautiful places, some of the places that are really beautiful are really expensive, or there's other issues that I don't want to deal with, or it's in the middle of nowhere. Part of me wants to say Utah because it's gorgeous, but it's expensive, and there are only 3 Catholic churches in the entire state, so I'd have trouble getting options on where to live, so I don't know. Maybe I just need to be satisfied where I am. That's not a great answer. Moving on. Moving on to the YouTube community tab, what are some major points you'd like to see the Ballad, Songbirds, and Snakes tackle so that it can be, you know, a good movie? Honestly, I have trouble believing this will be a good film. For the same reason, I think Mockingjay Part 1 and 2 suffered a little bit. Not because it was for lack of trying, nothing on really the part of the actors, just the way Mockingjay was as a book. You know, it was already difficult trying to stay in Katniss's head, but now someone with severe PTSD and emotional trauma, that's just so hard to portray, and I think they did a decent job, but especially with Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, the only thing I can think of is they really need to somehow show you what's going on inside Snow's head, because without that, people are going to empathize with him. Sympathizing is one thing, but there are people that are going to justify him. There are people that are going to claim he actually did love Lucy Gray, which I know people read the book and still claim he loved Lucy Gray, and I'm like, that's not love, that's lust, that's obsession, that's disgusting, and it needs to not be promoted or called love in any sense. So I don't have high hopes for the movie, which is a really pessimistic point of view, so we're gonna move on. Favorite food? Chinese garlic chicken with broccoli. Gale or Peeta? Not Team Gale or Team Peeta, but as a character. Someone else did ask Team Peeta or Team Gale, which I think is a pointless question, because I'm like, there is no team. She was meant to be with Peeta. That's the end of the story. But as far as which character, that's difficult, because most of the time I actually, recently anyway, would say Gale, because I think I kind of relate to the I'm not taking it anymore type mentality, like you guys are all acting crazy and we need to stand up for ourselves. But I also heavily relate to Peeta's like, let's be peaceful, let's not start anything, let's calm down. So I feel like all my answers have been, I don't know. Apparently I'm not good at decision making. Apparently there's a spoiler for Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Do you think Lucy Gray survived Snow trying to kill her? If so, do you think she survived on her own path? My answer to this is don't know, don't care. And the reason why is because it is made clear in the book that we are not supposed to know, that it is supposed to be mystery. So that's why I usually don't even humor the idea of like she made it to District 13 and oh, she gave birth to what would become a Almacoin, or she is Almacoin. You know, the point is we don't know, we will never know. That's my take on it. What Zelda game do you not like? I can't actually remember you saying one you explicitly disliked. None of the games I've actually played all the way through do I dislike. As far as one that I don't want to play, concerning like being in the actual timeline like a main series game, I would say Triforce Heroes. I've watched so much gameplay of it, and I know that's not the same thing, but what I've watched of it, I'm like, this is just so stupid. I cannot stand the idea of Triforce Heroes. It's disgusting. I think it's a laughable Zelda game. If you enjoy it, that's awesome. I'm not going to play it, and I think it's a disgrace that it's in the timeline. But then again, it's all just made up lore, so I can calm down about it and get over it. Do you like sports? If so, which one is your favorite? Depends on what you consider a sport. For the most part, I find sports boring, especially football. I feel like we put way too much money into it and it's a massive waste of money. And I also just don't get it. It just looks like men tackling each other. It's kind of dumb. I like baseball, but only in person and kind of for the patriotism of it, if you will. I don't know. It's the all-American game. Yeah, I don't know. I like it. It is kind of boring, but I enjoy it a little bit more, I suppose. As far as things people don't consider sports, dance. Even though it is a sport, and it's the best of all the sports because it's also artistic and requires athleticism, like, on a whole other level, in my opinion. Watch the game plan. You'll get the idea of what I'm talking about, even though it's just a cheesy Disney movie. And I enjoy playing chess, which is considered a sport, even though I stink at it. So yeah, dance. But based on what most people consider sports, no, pretty much none of them. They're all boring, and I think we spend too much money on them. Then again, I spend too much money on going to see like plays and movies and stuff, which other people would consider a waste of time. But I think the arts is way better, and better for the soul and the heart. Thanks for attending my TED Talk. Favorite Disney movie? If we're going to exclude Pixar and the princesses, like keep those all those as like separate categories, then I would say Lady and the Tramp. The old one, as in the only one that should ever be considered. Are there any Wii games you can enjoy playing despite being a lefty? Yeah, the only one that I came across that I couldn't deal with being a lefty was Twilight Princess. That was it. So I either have to play the GameCube version or I have to play the Wii U version. Not a big deal. But like I played Animal Crossing City Folk all the livelong day, and all I did was switch the controls around. It made no difference whatsoever. I played Mario Kart, Wii. There were plenty of games, so those were the two main ones though. Do you have any plans to start doing reviews or commentaries on more books outside of Harry Potter and Hunger Games? No. What's your favorite theory for the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes? Sorry if you've already answered it, it's okay. I would say my favorite, and kind of the only one I'm considering at the current, is that Maud Ivory is possibly an ancestor to Katniss Everdeen, either grandmother or great-grandmother. I go with great-grandmother because they explicitly say that in District 12 they have children young, so I'm imagining them all having children at age like 17, 18, you know, whereas everyone else is imagining like today's day where it's like 25. or older, because I'm 25, so that, never mind, moving on. Any more How to Train Your Dragon videos? I hope so. I have a couple of ideas, I just haven't written them out yet, so hopefully. Will you ever do any videos dedicated to the Lord of the Rings or Tolkien in general? Ooh, this is a question I imagine Nick asking. Maybe? I don't know. I love the Lord of the Rings trilogy, like, of movies, that's all I really know, but I just have not had any ideas yet, and there's like so many other videos I want to do, so one day, I hope so. What's one question you wish someone had asked? Why is Gamora? Which house of Hogwarts do you think you are going to get in the Sorting Hat test if you answer the questions reverse, choosing your least favorite answer? I don't know. I mean, I want to say Slytherin, probably, but it could be Gryffindor or Hufflepuff. I should try that sometime. What is your favorite Disney or Pixar film? Well, since I answered Disney, I will say for Pixar, I'd say it's a tie between Finding Nemo and Inside Out. And Coco. I really like Coco. That just had all the tears. What's your favorite of the Hunger Games books? Catching Fire. Do you do anything other than YouTube? Okay, apparently there's this misconception that YouTube is like my main thing. YouTube's a hobby. It's a side thing. That's why there was no video last week. And that was because I was really busy with my main job. So YouTube is a hobby. My main thing is I do a lot of things in the arts, such as acting and singing and dancing. What inspired you to do YouTube? Okay, I'm surprised I haven't been asked this one yet. So, I had gotten my Blue Yeti microphone, like, February of 2018, right before I graduated college, and, I had some ideas for like making videos. I had been binge watching Zelda theory videos and many other types of theory videos for the past like year and a half, maybe even 2 years. And there were a few topics I wanted to tackle, like why I felt the idea of putting Zelda in a movie or making a movie about Zelda would be a terrible idea. And so I kind of started writing out scripts. I got a better camera, and I just kind of wanted to see where it would go. I enjoyed editing and creating. I was very inspired by other YouTube creators, if you will, and I thought, well, let's see if it's fun, and if it's not fun, I won't do it. I don't know. I kind of enjoy talking, as you can tell. Rambling, this is what happens when I don't have a script. So that's not a very inspirational story. It was kind of, let's just try this, why not? What is your favorite series to read nowadays? Have you read the Legend series? No idea what the Legend series is, but favorite series to read? I'll go with Hunger Games since I read it the most. When you were a kid, what did you want to be? When you grew up, do you think you would be proud of the person you are today? I think younger me would be like, I'm afraid to grow up. I don't want to deal with all of that. But as far as what I wanted to be when I grew up, I kind of always knew I'd be some sort of instructor or teacher, which is weird because sometimes I think, oh, I'm terrible at that, even though that's literally what I do and I love it. It usually depended on what my passion was. I'd be like, oh, well, I was taking piano for like years, so I'll become a piano teacher, even though I didn't have a passion for it. So around age 8, once I started dance, I kind of knew I want to be a dance teacher. I want to teach this. I want to choreograph dances. And I did become a dance teacher, and I'm still a dance teacher. And I would hope that younger me would be proud of the fact that I actually accomplished that and did what I wanted to do, including teaching drama and getting a degree in the arts. So, yeah. I got to be what I wanted to be when I grew up and grown up. English. Yes. Are you planning on doing any more Hunger Games videos? Yes? Maybe? I have some ideas. What book character do you relate to the most? I don't really relate that hardcore to any book character as of yet. Maybe Jane Bennett from Jane Austen, like a hybrid of Jane and Elizabeth. Probably. Yeah, if you combine Jane and Elizabeth Bennett from Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice, perhaps. Which character from How to Train Your Dragon is your favorite? It will always be a tie between Astrid and Hiccup. I cannot make a decision. What is your first memory involving Disney or Pixar? I'm not sure which one was first, but this one left a big impact on me, and I feel like I was young enough to be considered first-ish. I was 7, almost 8, and I went to see Finding Nemo in theaters. And this was the first time that I remember understanding on a grander scale the concept of loss and death. Yeah, at age 7. Which, I mean, I had definitely seen things like The Lion King and been like, oh my gosh, Simba's dad is dead, this is horrible, and like I'd cry about it and I was really sad. I had already seen the Pokemon movie and that whole part with Ash, and the Pokemon made me sob, but I feel like, I remember sitting in the theater, and after Marlin is calling out to Coral, after everything that had just happened, and seeing that all the eggs are gone, like, I remember the wheels turning in my head and me being like, wait a minute, they're gone. The eggs are gone. Coral's gone. There was a big scary fish. Oh, they were murdered. They were literally murdered. Oh. So that's my first memory of Pixar. That sounds very fitting for Pixar, doesn't it though? Emotional trauma. I love it though. Now it's still like one of my favorite Pixar films. What is your favorite villager in Animal Crossing? Goldie, Cookie, Fauna, Bo, Willow, Puddles, Melba, I like a lot. Do you think the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes is going to be a new trilogy in the series? I certainly hope not. I hope it was a one-off because it was good as is. I've kind of explained this in other videos, so yes. Have you ever wanted to try the food from the Hunger Games? Nope. What is your most favorite top 3 Zelda games that you've ever played? In no particular order, Ocarina of Time, Breath of the Wild, and then like a tie between Wind Waker and Link's Awakening. If you weren't in Ravenclaw, what would you be? A Muggle? I'm just kidding. I would be, I would be Thunderbird. Because I wouldn't be at Hogwarts, I'd be at Ilvermorny, which makes more sense. Okay, to actually answer your question, I'd probably be Hufflepuff. Have you read the Keeper of Lost City series? Nope. What is your favorite How to Train Your Movie /TV series? For the TV series, my favorite is the episode Blindsided from Race to the Edge. Second to that might be Buffalo Soldier. As far as the films, someone else asked about favorite of the films. The first is like the best as far as like that nostalgia, even though I didn't watch it till I was 23. Getting back into it, like just all of the emotions. The second one's the most adventurous, but also like one of the saddest. But then Hidden World, I feel like is the strongest and has the most prominent message, the best philosophical message that so many people just overlooked completely and do not appreciate. So I feel like I'm gonna go with a third one. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Hidden World, but that'll change in 2 seconds. Will you ever do any more covers like your Safe and Sound one? Hopefully. I have songs I want to do covers of, but now that I've been taking voice lessons since February, I'm like really trying to get a handle on my voice, because it was one of those things that once I learned the proper techniques, now suddenly I'm like, oh, I can't sing that well because those muscles are weak. I'm not used to using them. I'm not used to having proper technique in my singing. So I don't know. I mean, I'm sure I will. I just don't know when or how. Have you read the Maze Runner series? Tried it, wasn't a fan. Who is your favorite Avenger? It always comes down to Hawkeye usually being top dog, but then right underneath is Captain America and Ant-Man. And then right under that is Iron Man. What do you think of Nintendo leaks? Depends on what you mean by Nintendo leaks. If you talk, I'm assuming you mean leaks, like information that was gonna come out or was never supposed to come out, like it's like not rumors, a leak. I kind of think they're despicable. Like it spoils us of the fun, like if it's something that came out early, and if it's something that was never supposed to be released, it's betraying someone's trust. Especially with the recent stuff, a lot of personal information was leaked too, and I'm like, we shouldn't even be talking about it. Part of me says we shouldn't even be bringing it up, because that just gives them more credibility. So yeah, I think it's kind of despicable, and we shouldn't even acknowledge them at times, even though I kind of just did. Who's your favorite Harry Potter character? Remus Lupin. Why am I so bad in math? I don't know. Are you learning new math? Because the way they do new math works for my brain, because that's how my brain works anyway. It's really weird, but also my brain is really weird, so we shouldn't be teaching the way my brain works. So other than that, I don't know what to tell you. Who's your favorite YouTuber besides yourself? I am not one of my own favorites. Ew. But probably, I like a lot of people. I'll probably go with Blimey Cow for right now. I've been watching them for like 10 years. I really like Blimey Cow. And Emily Wilson. And then there's like a few others I like watching their videos too, and their content, and they're just really cool. There was a couple that I've been patron supporters for. I can't be right now, but I have been in the past, and they're just so supportive, and some of them have like commented on even my videos, and they're like massive YouTubers, and have like watched my stuff and commented, and I'm just like, just makes me feel so cool, you know? Even though, like, I don't care about numbers and things like that, like, it's still cool, you know, someone that you admire their work giving kind of equal or, like, some sort of admiration back, being like, oh, that's cool, awesome, good job. I'm like, thanks. How are you? I'm good, thank you. How about you? Who is your favorite cartoon character? I'm gonna not use 3D animation, which gets rid of all of How to Train Your Dragon, which is probably good. Maybe all 3 of the Powerpuff Girls, or I do really like May from the Johto region of the Pokemon series. I liked Dawn too. I like Ash in general, once he matures a little bit, even though he's still 10 years old. Oh, that's anime though. I don't know, I'm gonna go with Powerpuff Girls. Now we're finally on to Instagram. Favorite character from Lord of the Rings? Legolas. Are you a fan of Shadowhunters by Cassandra Clare? Never heard of it. Favorite Pokemon type? Usually grass. I love a lot of the grass starters, and I love moves like Leech Seed. But then second to that is probably water type. Or fairy. What is your favorite to do outside of YouTube? Choreograph, write, read, watercolor. What's a show, film, or video game that you think it would shock people to learn you're a fan of? I'm not sure what you mean by shock. Like shock as in like, oh, we just didn't expect that'd be something you enjoy. Like a lot of people didn't expect that I would enjoy Galaxy Quest. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm a massive geek, and that just speaks to the geekdom 100%. Also, I love Tim Allen. I've been watching that film since I was like 4. But if you mean shock in the sense like, ooh, taboo, oh my gosh, someone so, you know, being like a woman of faith, oh my gosh, I can't believe she'd watch that. Nothing. There's like, I have like that standard for myself. Like if I would be ashamed to tell people that I watch this or play this, then I shouldn't be watching or playing it. Simple as that. If you were to be in the Hunger Games, oh no. How far in the games do you think you'd make it? I'd probably faint and blow up because I would have fallen off that platform before the timer finished. Okay, so I legit recorded my answer to every single question that I was given, except for a couple that I was like, whoa, that was a repeat, or that is not something I'm gonna answer. But if yours didn't make it in the final cut, I'm sorry. It probably wasn't your question. It was probably my answer, because there was a lot of I don't know in here. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I can't believe that we're at over 5,000 subs. Stay tuned for a video coming up either later this week or next week. That's gonna have a bunch of collaboration in it. Like there's like 3 people coming on the video. Super excited. And yeah, join my live streams when you can. They're typically Monday and Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but that might be changing after the middle of August, so probably will be changing. So anyway, that is all for today. Thank you for watching.